Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of SeasonedServedBlog.com. Today I am sharing a delicious recipe that is great for breakfast or brunch, my papas con chorizo breakfast hash. Papas con chorizo is a traditional Mexican dish that is served either just by itself or you can put it into tacos or burritos. However, I've updated this recipe to make it perfect for brunch with nice and crispy potatoes and chorizo with a beautiful fried egg on top. So if you want to see how I make my papas con chorizo breakfast hash, just keep on watching. To get started, we'll preheat our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we'll get into prepping our ingredients. Here I'm using some local BC Yukon Gold potatoes because these are my favorite potatoes of all time and I think they make the best hash browns. And to prepare the potatoes, I've just simply washed them and I'm going to cut them up into 1 centimeter cubes. I'm not even going to peel them because the peel tastes super great when it's roasted and it gives the potatoes a really great crispy texture. Now that all our potatoes are chopped up, we're going to set them aside and then I'm going to line a baking sheet with parchment paper for roasting. I'm going to dump all the potatoes onto the parchment lined baking sheet and spread them out into a single layer. Next, we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil to the potatoes, along with the simple seasoning of some ground black pepper and a little bit of sea salt. We're really keeping the flavors here very minimal because a lot of flavor is already packed into the chorizo and some other spices that we're going to add later on. Once all the salt and pepper is on the potatoes, we're going to mix everything up using our hands and then lay everything out into a single layer, trying to space out the potatoes so that they don't touch. Next, we're going to place the potatoes in the oven and we're going to bake them for about 40 to 45 minutes, making sure to turn the potatoes halfway through cooking. Next, we'll prepare our jalapenos and chorizo sausage. For the jalapenos, I'm just using them as a garnish, so I'm just going to slice them up into beautiful slices that'll go on top of the dish at the very end. And once those are chopped up, I'm just going to set them aside for later. Now for the chorizo, I'm using a locally made chorizo by Red Barn Market, and this is actually a turkey chorizo. Traditionally, chorizo is made with pork and pork fat and a bunch of seasonings, but the turkey chorizo is a little bit leaner and also still has lots of flavor. So all I'm going to do to prepare the chorizo sausage is just remove it from the casing and then crumble it up into little pieces. And of course, if you can't find turkey chorizo, a regular pork chorizo works really well in this dish too. And once the chorizo has all been crumbled up, we're going to take it over to the stove and start cooking. To cook the chorizo, I'm adding about a tablespoon of avocado oil to the pan, and then I'm going to add in all of the chorizo. If you are using a traditional pork chorizo, I would hold off on adding the oil because pork chorizo is definitely much fattier than this turkey chorizo. And as the chorizo cooks, I'm going to use a spoon to break it up into small pieces, roughly the same size as the roasted potatoes. Now since this turkey chorizo is a bit on the mild side, we're going to add a little bit of spices just to bring out more of those chorizo flavors. So here I am adding some sweet paprika to the pan, along with some smoked paprika, which gives it a beautiful smoky flavor. We're also going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper just for a little bit of heat, and of course if you don't like heat, this is totally optional. And for the final spice, we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And of course, for all the full measurements and directions for this recipe, you can find it on my blog, and I will leave that linked in the description box below. Once you've added all your spices, we're just going to mix everything through and toss it to combine, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water just so that I can get the spices a little bit more evenly distributed across the turkey chorizo. Once the potatoes have finished cooking, they should look just like this, nice and crispy all around and absolutely delicious. So all we're going to do is add them straight into the pan while they're still warm and toss them all together with the chorizo. You want to make sure you coat it really well with all the chorizo and all the spices, and in the end the potato should be a nice orangey red color. And the final component to this recipe are some fried eggs. So I've just added a little bit of oil to a separate pan and I'm adding my eggs in to fry them sunny side up. Of course, I also like to put salt and pepper on top just for a little bit more flavor, but cooking eggs is super simple. And once your eggs are fully cooked, we are going to serve up this breakfast dish. To serve up this breakfast hash, I'm just going to add it to a plate and then top it with an egg along with some beautiful sliced jalapenos for garnish and a little bit of cilantro. And a few sliced cherry tomatoes and a sprinkling of extra paprika powder makes this dish extra beautiful. This papas con chorizo hash is a great way to mix up your traditional breakfast and brunch and add a little bit of spice to it. And once again, for the full recipe, directions, and measurements, you will find it on my blog and I will leave that link in the description box below. Don't forget to check out my blog for other delicious breakfast and brunch recipes, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for more recipe videos just like this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.